Alright, today we're going to talk about a Maytag Ensignia washing machine. Very nice unit. This model is listed here in the serial number. Here's what it looks like. The outside. This unit, I've had two different ones. They last a long time, very durable. Automatic leveling. You push down on it. We'll do that later, but I want to show you how to repair an overflowing washing machine, one that appears to have a leak. And this is my unit, and I want to show you real quickly how to do a repair for a brand new replacement valve. It's called the inlet water valve. So this one point here, this common point, ends up being part of your diverter system inside of the unit. I'll show you more detail later, but this is a diverter. These two, on the left is the hot water solenoid valve. I marked them. On the right is a cold water valve. These are controlled by these control lines here that plug in to a 2-terminal on one side and 2-terminal on the other to control your water flow. When you're filling up your machine, you normally select a water level, which right here you've got a mini, small, medium, and large. We're usually in the medium. You'll save water there, but I recommend using large or a little bit extra water to be a little bit easier for the motor control. You don't want to overheat your motor, and over the years that will surmise in you needing to get a new unit or a new motor. Extra water goes well, but it's not good for conservation, so it's kind of a balance. I prefer to use enough water to get my clothes tossed around. Okay, so the reason why I know this is defective is because after we did some troubleshooting, what I did is I turned my water control valves off. So when you turn these off and the unit's off, no water should be allowed to come into the unit because the control system tells these two solenoids to remain off. Water comes in here, cold and hot from the outside in the back. As you can see, it goes in right there. I did not remove the cable or the hoses. It's not necessary. I just left them inside. So let me open this up. The way you open up the hood is you line up your screwdriver with the edge. Right here, the edge of the unit, this line is in line with a clip that's in there. So if you shove in your screwdriver, okay, now you can lift up the hood. The main control unit doesn't need to be accessed because the problem is not there. What I recommend is you get a broom with a handle, like I'm going to do here. Sorry I'm breathing heavy, but I'm trying to do this quickly. So now that you get this propped up, the broom, and you can look into the unit. I've already disconnected the cold water line, which is on the right. Left side's the hot one. You can see here, disconnected it. So what the problem was is when I turned on my water over here, I did the cold one first, no water was dripping out. This becomes apparent, it gets worse over time, such that when I turn the hot water valve on with the washer off, water was just barely dripping down into my tub. That tells me this solenoid is not completely closed when it should be. There might be some debris stuck inside of the mechanical valve portion, and it's an old unit. This unit's probably 8 years old. This unit will last easily 16, 18 years, easy. I highly recommend it. It's heavy duty built, and the last low water consumption one I got was bouncing all over the place, and it just didn't do a good job cleaning. So I went back, bought this one used. I knew it would break down eventually, and so here we are. No big deal. I bought the replacement part at Parts Select, right here, .com. Parts Select, you can go to any place you want. Sears is a great place. On 9/29 I bought it. I was receiving it yesterday, which was 10/1, 3 days. Basically the rough estimated price is about $73. No big deal. Parts Direct at Sears or whatever is going to be about the same. Some are quite a bit more, about 15 bucks more. So do a little shopping, investigation, get your new component, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to install it. It normally has these filters inside that are embedded, which are great, but over time they get crusty. I haven't disconnected this one, but I think I'll put it on pause and show you step 2. So I'm going to put the new one in You do that by basically, first of all, getting the unit out. There's one screw here. It's a little tiny one. Use a little ratchet like this. You get inside there, click, click, click. A couple seconds, it comes out. I'll show you the screw. Not too big. I think it's maybe a quarter. Let me tell you the size. Sorry. Size on my ratchet is 5/16. Okay, so that'll get you in there. I'm going to replace it, reconnect it, and show you and do the video from that point forward. But basically I know that once the new unit is in there, water's not going to flow out. What was happening is at the higher volume of water flow, this thing would get all the way up to the top, and I noticed it was weird because I have it set on warm setting, but all the water in here was hot. That means that the sensors over here for the temperature is sensing cold, hot. The mix, if you put it in warm, it wants a 50-50 blend evidently. But it could be possible also that what I did is I used the cold only, and this sensor said, okay, when it gets to medium, stop the flow. It worked fine. But for the hot, it never shut off. Shutting off is this part. The sensing is this part. So I know the sensors are probably 90% fine, no problem. If you don't shut off the water, you're going to get a flood. So let me replace this and I'll get back on just a moment.